r/short stories. Posted by you/catlady_and_training_. The girl in the mirror. The day my father first raised his hand against me was the day I first saw her. Long, pale hair, deep dark eyes and a gray dress. She was standing behind me when I looked at the mirror in the bathroom after washing my face. The door behind me was open and she was standing in the hallway, looking at me with a sorrowful smile. I was surprised. We never had any visitors at home. When I turned around, she was gone. I saw her more often, after that. Always in a mirror, a small distance away from me. I was scared at first, because she only came when I had been crying. I tried avoiding mirrors, but then I would see her in the reflection of a window, or some polished surface. Over time, I got used to her. I had tried talking to her, and she seemed to understand me, but she never answered. She became my friend in the darkness. She was the one who listened to me when no one else would. She offered me smiles with sad eyes and I stopped feeling so alone. As I grew older and my darkness grew, she appeared more often. On particularly bad days, I noticed her appearing 1 or 2 steps closer to me than before. Strangely, that comforted me, as she was the only who had ever been close to me. But then, I met someone. I fell in love and I fell hard. It was wonderful at first, and the dark days became less and less. My friend left with them. I missed her, because she had always been there for me, but I felt a strange relief as well. It meant that I was getting better. Saner. Then there was the accident. It had been raining. We had been drunk. Suddenly I was alone again. The next time I saw my reflection, she was back. She stayed with me every day, after that. I saw her in every mirror. I talked to her, even put up a mirror in my bedroom to have her with me at all times. I loved her, even as my days grew darker and darker. She got closer to me every day and I welcomed it. We sat on the bed together, me facing the mirror, and her closely behind me. One day, on a particularly dark day, I knew that we would finally be close enough to touch. I let myself fall into my darkness until I could feel her behind me. I did not dare turn around, afraid to see an empty room behind me and be alone again. But I should have. Because when I felt her cold hand sliding up to my neck, I knew that she wasn't my friend. She had been waiting. You never forget a first kiss. Posted by you/perculi_r. You never quite do you? Forget that first kiss in a relationship. You could have dated 12 people or 2, it doesn't matter. The first time your lips touched theirs, you felt something. It could have been the fear of rejection followed by the relief of reciprocation. It could have been desire building in intensity as you smelled, felt, tasted that significant other for the very first time. Did it happen with a high school sweetheart behind the bleachers as the two of you skipped history class, or did a foreign flame set you ablaze in the cobbled streets of Prague? Which one burns brighter in your memory? However, wherever, whoever. You remember it. It was my 3rd date with Amber and I was finally building up the courage to go for it. I was really anxious, but a glass of wine helped soothe my nerves. I made small talk as I tried to wolf down the pasta I had prepared for us. The food tasted bland, and I couldn't blame my date for hardly touching her portion. Amber sat across the table from me, her porcelain skin reflecting the glow from the fireplace. She wore her silky blonde hair braided with sky blue ribbons. I loved the dress she had on. It was pink and frilly, with a lace bodice that flattered her slim figure. There was a faraway, distant look in her eyes that evening. I wondered what she was thinking about. I knew that Amber was special from the first time I saw her in the after-hours parking lot near my place of work. She had been walking fast, jerking her head left and right, cautious of the nighttime dangers that could befall a beautiful woman out alone at night. I hesitated before approaching her, but in the end, I decided to go for it. Lucky for me, we really hit it off. Now, I just had to man up and go for the kiss. As much as I hated to admit it, our time was running out. I finished my pasta and walked over to Amber's seat. "I love you," I told her, before cupping her drooping chin in my right hand. Pure decay hit my senses as I parted her lips with mine. My tongue explored Amber's rotting, cold mouth as I kept her slack jaw in place. I tried to close her eyes for a more sensual experience, but the lids wouldn't budge. I closed my own to avoid that faraway, glassy stare of hers. The taste, smell, and feel of Amber were too much as I lost myself in the pleasure of our first kiss. Years have passed and I'm now a happily married man with 2 small children, a boy and a girl. I love my wife and would never step out on my family, but sometimes, late at night when everyone goes to sleep, I stay up with my old scrapbook and I remember all those first kisses. I don't love you. Posted by you/Dizzy_rate. I love you. Do you know that? I was there when you got your first job. I was there when you got your first car. I was there when you got your first girlfriend. Why wasn't it me? Was I not pretty enough? I was there when you were depressed. I was there for you when she wasn't. I was at the same party as her. I slipped something into her drink. I was the one that told that guy she was easy. She doesn't deserve you. I was the one that took the picture. I was the one that posted it on social media. I was there when you found out she cheated on you. I was there when you broke up with her. I was there for you when you needed a shoulder to cry on. I was there when you got the phone call that she killed herself. I was there when you began to hate yourself. I still love you. You kissed me and that's when I knew that you loved me too. I saw you with that whore. I saw what you two did to each other in your room. I was there when she was walking home alone. I was the one that slit her throat. I was on your bed wearing my best lingerie. You walked in and smiled. We made love. I told you about my feelings but you rejected them. It was just sex? I gave you my virginity. I thought you loved me? I don't love you anymore. You messaged me asking to come over and I said yes. I handed you that drink when you sat on my bed naked. I was the one that put cyanide in it. I watched every second of your death with a smile on my face. I don't love you. I am not Julia St. Clair. Posted by you/PatrickRGM. But everyone seems to think I am. Everyone Julia works with. Her dogs. Julia's own father hasn't suspected a thing. Why would he? I look exactly like her. I've gotten really good at doing the voice too, and the little things, that's the trick. She always forgets to put on her glasses in the morning, never eats toast with the crusts on. Stupid things, but important. Julia works in a small office, some kind of travel agency. She gets on well with her peers, really well with her boss. Actually, I don't know if she did before. She certainly does now. Don't bother asking what I did with Julia St. Clair. It's not that you wouldn't understand, but I don't have the time to get into all the details of assimilation. Bottom line is, she's fine. The process is harmless. And it was all going fine till the day in the garden. I shouldn't have gone down to the shed, but I was so bored. Julia lives alone and I couldn't stand it. Jesus Christ. I came down to the shed to put away the gardening tools and I found this, all this. I knew the smell before I even opened the door, but bodies. At least 5 or 6. Some were definitely kids, some older. My God, I had no idea she was capable of this, no idea at all. And I tried to tell them as they took me away, screaming, I am not Julia St. Clair. But everyone seems to think I am. Everyone in the jury. The judge. Julia's own father couldn't defend me. How could he? I look exactly like her. Like a stone. Posted by you/opinionatedemo. I'm laying here as motionless as a stone. They don't suspect anything. That's the beauty of it. Being perfectly still throughout the centuries has lulled the living into a false sense of security. When billions of corpses behaved the exact same way because of the stillness rules, it instills absolute confidence we are vacant vessels. They'd never believe we could get back up, just like when we were alive. Frankly, I'd love to see the look on their faces. It would be the bomb. I'd rise slowly and growl while climbing off the autopsy table, just like in horror movies. While they pissed their pants and ran screaming, I'd murmur brains. It would be epic. People would shriek and cry in terror. I'd be sure to lumber around with a stiff, uncoordinated gait to complete the stereotypical zombie facade. If I violate the stationary rule, then all my unbreathing peers throughout the hospital will surely break character and do the same. It'll become a full-on flash mob outbreak. We'll lumber around and press elevator buttons while cornering nurses. It's not like I wanted to cause the living to join us, prematurely. That's a huge no-no. Even I wouldn't violate that rule. I'm just a joker with an itch to cause harmless mischief. Surely they'd understand. If it was properly handled, it could be explained as religious hysteria or involuntary reflexes. Most would buy that. After all, in the history of the world, not one has ever broken the stillness rule. I'd be a pioneer. That morgue assistant seems nervous. I don't know if she's afraid of being around the dead, or if she's worried her inexperience might show in front of the coroner. Either way, let's see what happens when I wiggle my toe. With any luck, I can get a full shriek. It'll be hilarious. That's not even a full-on break of the rule. They allow involuntary twitches. Awesome. Did you see? She tore out of the room like a spooked toddler. It's all I can do to not grin. She yelling for the medical examiner to come see. Just to screw with her a little more, I'll be perfectly still when he's watching, but as soon as he looks away, I'll put on a show. I'll grab her behind when she's cutting me open. Then I'll wink with a dead eye. It'll be hilarious. Barney on the table to my right is about to bust a gut. Of course that wouldn't take much after his failed abdominal surgery, but he's still amused. Just look at the guy. I know I'll catch a lot of heat for this rule breaking and misbehaving, but everyone loves a clown, dead or not. Well, maybe not everyone, but even the living would find my shenanigans funny if they were let in on the joke. Unfortunately, that's another big no-no. The biggest one. We've got to keep my plans strictly between us, okay? By the way, what brought you here to your table?